I don't know why I took so long to analyze Team Walz body language, but well, this is a clip that was long overdue. He was entering one of his rallies or speeches, and this clip was doing the rounds on the internet. And the first thing that I could notice is well, maybe everyone noticed, that he could not help just waving his arms all over the place. And people were asking me, Jesus, why does he do that? Why does he act in that way? I'm gonna do it frame by frame. He is walking with a very, very wide and I could say energetic stride. In that regard, well, that's normal. You're entering, you're going to give a speech. There's a lot of people waiting for you. You have a lot of energy. You want to feel that energy. But that's when things go a bit overboard. It's nice to like point to the audience. It's a bit aggressive, but it's valid. It's something that you can do. It's maybe your style. It's not my style, but in all cases, who is he pointing right now? Is he pointing at the guys who are fixing the lights at the place? Because he's pointed at the ceiling, like literally. I don't know. Then he claps and does this. I mean, this is one of the things that I say that is a bit overboard. That's a bit exaggerated. And that exaggeration is what maybe I don't have a problem, because I think that anyone has the right to have the brand body language that they want. Maybe he likes to act like this. But the problem is that when we see this kind of displays, the thing that you might notice is that, okay, one thing is to have energy. That's nice. The long strides, the fist up in the air, the clapping, but it's like trying to overdo it. It's like, okay, I'm trying to see where I'm stepping, he says, but well, it was pretty much okay. And turning and of course pointing upward to anybody who was right behind him. But you know that he's not really pointing at anybody, because he's too far away to be pointing at someone in particular. You point at someone, hey, that all that we have to do to be here tonight, and you have that small connection. But trying to point at everyone, it's a bit, that's what I tell you, that it's a bit exaggerated. Now he's trying to clap, and maybe he's mixing it with the usual, like a praying gesture. All of those are gestures that politicians do. The thing is that he does so many of them in such a short period of time, and of course the hand of heart he's hunching, and the hand of heart, that that in politicians, that is usually, well, in many people, that is usually not the most thing to trust. It is a bit fake. It always looks a bit fake, especially when you do it like you have, an urgency to go to the bathroom. I don't know, like he needs to go to the toilet. But again, now he says no with his finger. And we are not like even, 10 seconds in, points again, waves again, opens his arms. Okay, again, I can understand a lot of energy. That is nice, but it feels exaggerated. And what is exaggerated, or what feels exaggerated, ends up looking fake. And I also could say another thing, that maybe in other instances, his body language is not that extreme, thank God. But we could say that it's equally, especially the constant waving over and over again. He's going to wave again. Like people is right next to him, and he's just waving like if they were far away. You know that it's like that contradiction. He had people far away on that speech that he was going to give, and he was pointing at them like they were like right next to him. And right here, he could be nodding and like, I don't know, interacting in a closer way. There's the praying gesture again. But he's keeping he's doing this all over. This is the gesture I wanted to point out. This is when you wave just for the sake of it, like without a real intention. And you might say, well, Jesus, that is his body language, that his brand. And yes, that is not what I would recommend if I was his advisor. Okay, you can show energy, but there are many other ways to show energy and not be so, okay, like this. This is a solid handshake, I must say. Yeah, why not? That is a solid handshake. Only thing is that he gave his hand, he was shaking hands. The guy was looking straight at him, but he was not establishing eye contact. That is a handshake sin. That's something that is a big no. You should always establish eye contact. Make sure that you establish eye contact. And this is another thing that people are mentioning, is that why does he do that kicking when he cannot use his hands and arms to show his energy? He begins to kick like a horse. Well, horses, I'm not gonna do any horses horse puns right now, but horses kick like backwards. It will be a bit strange if he kicks backwards, but yeah, he does the little kick right there. It's again a lot of energy perhaps, but it's a bit out of place in my opinion. I could say that again, I would not say that this is like wrong body language, because you can actually have the body language that fits your personality, but it's not that frequent when body language fits someone's so flamboyant personality. Because I have heard, and we're gonna see a couple clips of Tim Walz speaking, and it's not like his personality is like that. And you see here, this is okay, he is clapping. It's not the seal clap, like you have your elbows stuck together and do this, okay, the seal clap. No, this is a solid clap, and a solid fist in the air, pressing your lips. That is your usual politician fare. But then he begins to bow. Now he begins the seal clapping. Now he turns around and opens his arms and greets his wife. I should give his wife a dedicated video, by the way. And he begins to wave in this way. It is so ample. I don't know what to say. Again, it's a bit off and so exaggerated. It's like here, greeting the mascot. He sees the mascot, okay, here in the field, and what he does immediately is to just throw his hands in the air in this way, like he's, I don't know. I don't know who is he seeing at that moment. It's so exaggerated. I take my cap. I want to. This is pretty much okay. I think it was the gesture at first that was a bit overboard. Going out of the plane, the same, waving all over the place, a bit of seal clapping. Again, it's let's say, what is the word that I could use for this? I could say that it is not focused. It is like, sometimes it's like doing it just for the sake of, like, I'm showing energy, I'm showing the joy, and well, it doesn't always work as intended. I have to mention this. This is something that I had to mention, that caught my attention that he is, staunch defender of something that is a big no-no in men, which is the limp wrists. You, as a man, never leave your hand like this with a limp wrist. That is weakness. You could say we could say a lot of jokes about this, like in Venezuela we have a couple of words for this kind of body language, but the most precise and professional word for this is weakness. That is just weakness. That's something that you absolutely don't want to project as a politician or as a man. No, big no. And you know that I like to be fair in all my analysis, and I say things and try to, expose things that are not true. And you know that many people, including myself, I tweeted this, that he was like flipping the bird, like giving the finger to some students who were heckling him. And this was doing the rounds on X, by the way. You can follow me there. And someone said, no, he was not doing that. And I remember that I should always go to the source. I should always go to a better quality source than this. I deleted my tweet, by the way, and I tried to find another angle, and in fact, I found another angle, and no, he was indeed not flipping the bird. Maybe this was a bit misleading because of the, lack of quality of the video. And if I compress a video with my hand like this, then it will also look like I'm flipping the bird. But we still have not only the flamboyant attitude, but the hand in that position as well. And already know what the limp hand at the wrist means. So another no. And another not good body language for a politician is when he was visiting George Soros' apartment in New York City. And he was showing, this is how we are going to rule the world. And Walz had, let's say, beta body language. He was hunched, not powerful at all, very weak. He was crossing his fingers over his genitals, maybe a bit too diplomatic for my taste. In some instances, it could be okay if you did not have that posture, if you were not hunched like this. And what sealed the deal is the ankles together. That is a very not powerful body language, very submissive body language. And him, again, not good for any politician running for office, and especially who Kamala Harris chose to bring in the man, I guess. But I don't think that's going to work. I don't think that is going to work the way they intended. And we still are waiting for that debate with J.D. Vance in just a couple hours. And I proposed a game. Let's do, I don't know. I'm not that keen on drinking games. I don't want to. I haven't drank in ages. But let's do something every time he says the words middle class.
Inflation. Yeah. Let's start with inflation. What do you tell people who wake up, frankly, each morning wondering, how am I going to get by financially?
Yeah, I tell them, Kamala Harris and I know something about it. It'd be middle class folks. Our families sit at the table trying to pay the bill.
Yeah, every time Walz says middle class, you know what to do. And he has also ideas. You know that I was talking about Bill Gates and John Kerry not being very friendly about the First Amendment, free speech. And I think Walz is in the same page as those
I think
two.
we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
So, a couple clips that I wanted to show you. So again, my verdict about his body language is that he is a bit too over the place, a bit exaggerated. He could be I don't know. It could be energetic. That is nice. I have given speeches, and I want to be energetic, but at the same time, you can absolutely overdo your body language, and when you do it, when you go all the way overboard with that, you're gonna look fake. And you know that for these people who have this very energetic and joyful and exaggerated body language, I always say that you don't know what kind of skeletons do they have in their basement, because we actually don't want to find out. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My body language buddies, remember to download my free 100 body language tips in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.